Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm good, thank you. Aren't we glad for the weather change? Yeah, winter's finally over. We're just waiting for Stella to dial in as she works out of our Boston office. But the moment she does, we'll be ready to start this meeting. Oh, good morning, Stella. So glad you could join us. Now that we have everyone accounted for, I'm going to begin our meeting. But first, if everyone could please open the attachment provided in the email invite, it'll make everything a lot easier. Great, thank you. So let me begin by introducing the key stakeholders for this project. To begin with, we have Steve Cobbs, who's also the project sponsor. He is the product vice president in charge of AMD Cell Games. Next, we have Lark Sugarcane, who will be the software development lead for this project. We also have Lee Pinting, who's our head of social media marketing. We have Stella Atwa, who's joined us from Boston, and she's our customer relations manager and will be playing a pivotal role in this project. We also have Kalu Yadav, the software sales lead. We have Lean Counter, who is the accounting lead. We also have Salman Khan, who is the VP of web content and design. We have David Way, who's our R&D lead, and we also have Gair Kanuni, who is our legal lead. I'm sure you guys have all met each other before and have worked on other projects, so any other extra introductions would be unnecessary at this point. So I'll go ahead and work on the budget for our project. Now, Steve Cobbs, as the project sponsor, has approved this project and he remains as the primary stakeholder slash product owner for this project. This project has also received approval from all of the top management and they are in line with Steve, and as they say, this is going to be Steve's baby. The software development slash testing has been estimated at roughly 5,000 hours. These estimates come from intensive research into. Sorry. Yes, Stella, that's a really good question. But you're right. These numbers come from intensive research that has been taking place over the last 2 months. Lark here has been responsible for estimating the software development work that would go in, and he is responsible for providing us with these numbers. Likewise, the sales deck, marketing material, and web page development have come from, let me go back and show you guys, from Lee, Kalu, as well as Salman, who's going to be responsible for the web page development and other sales material being posted onto our websites. The legal agreements have been estimated to be at roughly 500 hours. Gair Kanuni is the head of our legal team. He has a lot of works planned ahead over the course of the next 13 weeks to come up with the privacy notices, contracts with Samsung as well as AT&T, and the end user agreements. Interestingly, our current project is focused on the work that has been going on between us, Samsung, and AT&T. But on the other hand, we do intend to promote our work and extend beyond Android and Samsung. And in that regard, there is research and development going on where we are trying to see if our product is viable for the iOS, Apple market, or the Microsoft Windows market. David is going to be in charge of that, and that work has been estimated at a whopping 20,000 hours. But luckily for us, it's not a part of our current project completion acceptance criteria. So although this project ends with our final end game development, R&D for pushing this game over to Apple, iOS, or Windows would be a side project that goes hand in hand with our current one. We've also scheduled a buffer or extra time of roughly 100 hours for miscellaneous items, delays, or whatever that might come up. Any questions on this point? Let's go ahead then. What I have here is a rough estimate of the project life cycle. The left axis is basically when each item would start. So as you can see, software development, sales, marketing material, legal contract development, and R&D would all begin concurrently at the same time. That's D-Day, day one. The software development will roll over into the product UAT and QA. Now, the important part here is that the software development is due by week 10, and that's again an estimate that we get from the software development team. Product UAT versus QA would take place for the next 3 weeks, estimated at it, and we'd have the final product ready for review by week 14. Likewise, the sales marketing material would be ready by week 7, following which Salman would be responsible for the web page as well as interface development due by week 13. Concurrently, legal is going to be busy building all of those documents, and they'll be working throughout the term of the project. Now, with regards to R&D, what we figured out is we'll have a short status report at the end of week 13 to let us know if it's even viable to pitch our product over Apple as well as Microsoft. If not, then we can scrap the rest of the project and say goodbye to any further efforts that would have been spent on that front. Week 14 obviously has the final product delivery project acceptance criteria review. That would happen between me and Steve. We'd walk through all of the products. There would be a software demo that would help us understand if this product is ready and meets all the acceptance criteria that have been put forth as of today. Software development milestones. Now, some of this has already been introduced in the previous slide. Lark, as the lead for this project, has provided these deliverable milestones. Like I've said before, the software development and unit testing should be completed by week 10, UAT QA by week 13. By the end of week 13, we will have a fully developed product ready to be launched in the market. Of course, depending on the review from Steve. Sales, marketing, and the web developments. So Lee and Kalu will be working closely together on this to develop our sales and marketing materials. This will also include market evaluations and other focus group studies to make sure that our product is hitting that sweet spot and that we actually create a niche of our own once we introduce this. Stella Artois will be supporting them on the latter to ensure that our product launch goes smoothly and this becomes into one of our more profitable products that we have, especially in the handheld devices game market. Lee, Kalu, and Stella estimate their work to be completed by week 7, at which point we would also have a second meeting with Salman to bring him up to speed with what Lee, Kalu, and Stella have. And at that point, he would begin with the web page interface development to incorporate some of the work that Lee and the others have done, and also so that the story being said is the same on both fronts, and there's no disparity between our sales deck and our web pages or our product storyline basically. Salman estimates his work to be completed by week 13, which is about the same time by which we would have finished our software development. David will be running the parallel hardware software research to test product viability over the Apple iOS devices as well as other Windows Microsoft devices. This work will continue past the 14-week deadline of this project, but like I said, at the end of week 13, there would be a status report coming out of David, where he would let us know if this is at least possible or if this is an impossible task, then we would save on any further resources being wasted on this project. So our legal team is obviously being led by Gair Kanuni as head of legal. He will be working with his team across the 13-week term of this project to develop all the necessary contract agreements, the ones with Samsung, the ones with AT&T. He will also be responsible for protecting intellectual property rights, as well as creating the end user agreements and the privacy notices. Now we know this is really important, especially after what happened with Facebook and all of those user information that was lost or stolen. So we don't want to repeat any of that. That's why this is really, really important that our privacy notices, our end user agreements are absolutely perfect and there are no loopholes in there. Now this is a simple slide to just let everyone know how we shall be monitoring and reviewing the life cycle of the project. There are going to be weekly cross-functional meetings to report on progress of respective projects, as well as any risks that you think might be taking place or might occur in the future, as well as any dependencies you might have. The benefit of this is everyone stays on the same page, everyone knows how other people are doing, and or since this is a cross-functional team, you could always have some information that might help the other person out. So that's why we're going to have a small half-hour to 1 hour meeting on a weekly basis, and I'm going to look at everyone's calendar to schedule that meeting. Hope that's fine with everyone. What is going to be included in the final week review? There's going to be a final game demo. There's going to be a budget review and versus a budget audit. There's going to be a sales, marketing, web development review. There's also going to be a R&D status review. Finally, two things. There's going to be a project sign off from Steve saying we've delivered what we were asked to do. And at the end of it, I'm sure this is very important to everyone, there's going to be a project completion happy hour, which we would be glad if everyone invited here or in this room, and Stella, if you could join us, that would really, really be good. And that's all we have for the meeting. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully Amdame is going to be a very successful product, and we're all going to be very, very happy that we got the opportunity to work on this. Thank you, everyone.